Okay, sorry. Now, um, after the blending options, let's just show you guys how to insert an image and do some modifications to this image. So let me just close this one quickly, find out if I have any images, files. Yeah, I have some images, I think. Flowers, I have nice flowers images. Okay, so I'll open Photoshop again. So now comes how to insert an image and how to modify image, how to adjust brightness, contrast, how to give options in this image. Okay, so all these things. Now comes the interesting part. So there are two ways by which you can insert an image. Okay, so the first is the very basic way. File, click on open, and then you can, sorry, that was a burp, I'm so sorry. So file, click on open, and you can open the image here. Okay, or you can just go to wherever the image is stored. Let's say my images are stored in the pictures folder, so I can right click on it, and then let's select the flower, right click on it, open with Adobe Photoshop CC 2017. uh, Two ways. How I do it is I first open Adobe Photoshop, and then I create the canvas. Firstly, I create the canvas on which I'm going to insert that image. Now, the profit of first creating the canvas and then inserting the image is that now let's say Instagram. I want to create an image for Instagram. So I know the size of image that goes on Instagram, or I can just open Google and then search out size of images in Instagram. Okay, or in Instagram story. So basically the size is uh, so if I want a good Instagram, it's 1080 by 1080. Okay, so from here you can if you want an Instagram photo, 1:1 ratio, 1080 by 1080. If you want a video post, if you want a story, then you have to select this size. Okay, so this is why creating a canvas first and then inserting the image is important. You can insert an image by just going to file, clicking on open, and then just double clicking on this image, and the image will get inserted. But how I do it is file, click on new, and then first click on the canvas. Now I will create a image for Instagram. So 1080 by 1080, orientation is portrait because 1080 size is both, it's 1:1 ratio. Okay, 100 pixels per. Now I'm creating a nice image. Okay, I want the photo to be nice, I want the image to be nice, so I will increase the resolution of the image. And BTW, if you increase the resolution here, you'll increase the size of the image in kilobytes, in megabytes. Okay, so I'll just give a, let's say, uh, 200 pixels per centimeter image. So this is the canvas on which I am going to insert the image. Profit of creating the canvas: number one, the size remains constant. Whatever image you are going to insert is just like I've shown you how you have inserted an object. That's the profit. Number two, the image can be of a different size. You can adjust the size of the image here just by copying and pasting it here. Okay, so you can adjust the size of the image like this. Now many of you guys directly click image on your mobile phone cameras, and then without modification you just insert the image. But properly, if you want to do it, if you want to just properly insert the image so that no cutting occurs, nothing happens, then you can create a canvas and then you can insert an image. Now how did I insert this image like this? I have to show you guys. I cannot just work on it like this. So firstly, I have created a canvas. Okay, and then again, inserting an image into the canvas, there are two ways. Firstly, you can uh, place an image here. Okay, like you can just drag the image here, and this will create an active image. An active image is something that you can take the image later on to another canvas. You can modify the image and then you can copy and paste it here. That's an active image. Okay, so this is an active image. You can change transform the image. I'll tell you what transform is in a minute. You can transform the image and you can change it. So this is an active image, and the benefits of active images, there are more freedom for you to transform. But open up the image in some other this one, just go to file, open up the image. You can select the image like this. You can just select the image, or you can edit, then you can use edit copy and then edit paste. Okay, the image is pasted. Now this image is clicked with a digital camera. Okay, it was a nice digital camera, and the image is of a much higher size than the canvas on which we are pasting the image. Okay, so let's just see the attributes of the image. Let's just see what's the size of the images. Image size. Okay, it's 5184 by 34056. It's well above 4K, well above 1080. Okay, so resolution is 72 pixels per inch. I have created a much more detailed canvas by 200, but still the size of the image is this one. Now I will insert that image here. So I will select the image, edit copy or Control C on the keyboard, and then Control V on the canvas. Now you are just seeing a part of the image. By using the move tool, you can move the image. Remember how last class I told you, anything that you place on the canvas is separate and the image is separate, and using the move tool you can move the image around. So here I am moving the image around, and now I want to adjust the image onto the canvas. So how to do that? You can first let me show you this one at first. You can first make sure the layer 1 is selected, image, and then click on image size. Okay, so basically if you want to decrease the size of an image, if you want to lessen the size of an image, what you can do is you can go to image, click on image size, and then let's say I want the image to be of 1080 and by 1080 size. Okay. Resample, I want nice resampling reduces the quality of the image, so I want a nice sharper image. Click on OK. See, the images, the size of the image is decreased. You can do this, no problem whatsoever. How I do it is, first I create the canvas, insert this image, and then use transform tools. Now this is also one of the most powerful tool in Photoshop, how to use transform tools. Okay, now let me quickly see where the transform was, because again I am using shortcuts and I forgot how to use transform tools. There, I almost completely forgot where the transform menu was. So what I can teach you is, after inserting the image, press Control T on the keyboard, control and T. This will give you the transform menu here. Now as soon as you press control T, you are not seeing here because the canvas size is this one. Now this is the image that I have inserted. Remember, it was 5100 and something pixels, and the size of the canvas is only 1080 by 1080. So after you press control T on this layer, on the transform image, now since I pasted the image, it automatically created another layer. After you have pressed control T, you can just click on the edges and then decrease the size of the image, and this will immediately snap to the edges. Okay, because Photoshop, it works like this. It's easier for us. It will snap to the edges. And by the way, how I'm zooming in and out is, first you can the long cut method, right click and click here, and then you can type the percentage zoom that you want, or my shortcut method is press alt on the keyboard and scroll the mouse wheel. You can increase and decrease the size. Now I have transformed it here like this. Now I want to, let's say, rotate the image. I don't like the transformation. I don't like how squished the image is like this. The original image was the original image was much nicer. The original image was like this, and if I rotate this, image rotation 90 degree, image rotation 90 degree counterclockwise, see how nice this is, how nice this image is. But as soon as I have decreased the size and then did the transformation, the image appeared squished. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to decrease, I'm going to transform it linearly, or to constrain its proportions. Okay, so what is constraining of proportions and how to do all these things? Now let me quickly explain. Let's say let me use this. I'm dying to use this. I'm just installed whiteboard. Proportions. Now how to constrain proportions? Let's say this is your image. Okay, this is your image. Now this is longer and this is shorter. Now if you are transforming it into a 1:1 image, that means both the length and breadth is the same, then the image it shrinks unproportionally. It shrinks unproportionally. That means this will decrease, but this will remain constant. Okay, so the image, if the image is like this, long tree, then the image will appear squished. Okay, the image will appear squished. This is unconstrained transformation. This means that you are not setting the size properly. Okay, the size of the original image is getting changed. This is known as unconstrained proportions. Whereas to constrain the proportions means, if there is an image of, let's say, like this size, okay, and you are going to put the image in a size like this, let's say this is 2:1, okay, and you are putting it into 1:1, then to constrain the proportion means whatever the length and breadth ratio was, okay, you are putting the same length and breadth ratio onto the canvas, or onto the wherever you are pasting it. Okay, now see, when you are constraining, or when you are setting the proportions fixed, then some unused areas comes here. Okay, so this you have to adjust this later. What many people do, I have seen on social media, is they just blur these sizes out. Many of the apps do that, but this is known as constraint proportion transformation. Constraint, okay, that means you are keeping the ratio of the image same. Okay, so what I'm going to teach you is how to use constraint transformation, or to keep the proportions, or to keep the length and breadth of the image fixed. So how to do that? First, press Ctrl T. Okay, this will show you this one. Now after pressing Ctrl T, if you don't press anything on the keyboard and then you just resize the image, if you just resize the image like this to the canvas, okay, see, the image is getting squished. Okay, so this means that the proportions are not constrained, that the length and breadth is not fixed. We have decreased the length, we have increased the breadth, we did something so that it is not looking like the original image. Let me just image rotation 90-degree counterclockwise. See how this image is and how this image is. Now you tell me which one is better. This is obviously better because this is the proper size of the image. This is not the proper length and breadth of the image. We have squished the image. Okay, so how to use constraint proportions? Now you can do it in two ways. Firstly, press Ctrl T. Okay, bring out the transform toolbox. Oh, I have not selected the layer. Press Ctrl T. Then see, after pressing Ctrl T, press Shift on the keyboard and keep on pressing Shift. Now if you press Shift, this will constrain or this will lock the length and breadth of the image. So if you press Shift and then see, if you decrease the size, see how the length and breadth, it remains constant, or sorry, the width and height, now length and breadth, width and height, whatever you are going to use. So the width and height, it remains constant. Okay, but if you are not pressing Shift and then you are clicking and dragging, then you will change the width and height of the image. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to constrain the proportions. So again I'm pressing Ctrl T, then press Shift, then decrease the size of the image like this. Okay, now again see, I need to increase the size. So again I'm going to press Shift and then I'm going to increase the size of the image. Now when you press Shift, this will constrain the proportions. Okay, so just click on the move tool to apply the transformation and then the transformation is applied. Got it? Now if I rotate the image rotation 90-degree counterclockwise, see how the length and breadth of the image is fixed. Okay, again Ctrl T, let me just increase the size a little bit. Okay, let me decrease the size from here a little bit. Okay, done. So this is how you apply, first create a canvas. Now if I post this on Instagram, what will happen is the image will come, the white bars on both the left and right will come, and then the image will be of the proper size on which the original image was. Got it? Then after this, let me just tell you, after you have opened an image, you can again go to image size, and then you can just decrease the pixel size and then decrease the image. Again I'm going to show you. Let me just start it from the beginning. File, open. I'm going to select the image. Let's say this is the image, or let's say this is the image. I'm clicking on open, then the image is open. I don't want to change the size or anything. I want the image, it's facing downwards. I'm going to make it go turn counterclockwise. Image, go to image rotation 90-degree counterclockwise. The image is coming here. Okay, it's of a very big size. I don't want such big sizes, so I'm going to image. I'm going to click on image size, and then I'm going to decrease the size of the image, in pixels, 1080 by 1080. This will squish the image, which I don't want. So see this icon, this link icon. Now when you click on this link icon, when it is activated, then if you decrease the size, if you decrease the width, the height is automatically calculated. This is the constraining of proportions. Okay, this is the constraining of the length, the width and height of the image. Now if you uncheck this and then you enter a width and then you enter a height, then this will create an unconstrained proportioned image. Okay, which in some cases you might want this, but I don't recommend this. I love photography. I love the way the photographer has clicked the image. I just love the way he envisioned it. And if you are an editor, you want to keep the original width and height of the image. That's just my thinking. In some cases you might want to unconstrained. You might want to just change the width and height to your own liking. So it's not my thing, but I like to constrain the proportions. Okay, so 1080 pixels. It immediately calculated 1620 pixels as the unconstrained height. If I click on OK, then the image is reduced. Okay, so this is how the size, I can reduce the size of the image. Okay. Now my main objective is to create the image for Instagram. Now after I have clicked on unconstrained, after I have locked down, okay, the constraining of the image, 1620 height, yeah, Instagram will immediately cut the top portion, the bottom portion, and only this much portion will get displayed, which also I don't want. That's why I always create a canvas first. I create a canvas 1080 by 1080. Okay, 72 pixels per inch. Let it remain the same ppi. So this is it. Then what I'm going to do, I will select the image. Okay, edit copy, and then edit paste. I hate long cut patterns. Okay, so this is practically how Instagram will display the image. It will cut the top portion and the bottom portion, and then just display to you this part, because this is the canvas of Instagram. We have used the size of Instagram image, the Instagram image size. Okay, so but I don't want that. I don't want that. I want the top portion to be displayed. I want the bottom portion to be displayed. Okay, if you're a boy, if a girl lets you to edit edit her nice posed photo, if her head is here, her legs is here. So if you are not constraining the proportions, then her head will be cut, her legs will be cut, and only her stomach will be displayed, which you don't want. You'll immediately break up the relationship. So you want the whole photo to get displayed. So again, after inserting, what I am going to do is I will press Ctrl T on the keyboard. This will show you the transform box, and then by pressing Shift, remember to press Shift, this means I am constraining the proportions of the image. I will press Shift, and then I am going to decrease the size of the image. I am clicking and dragging like this, and now see, if I click on the corner, then width and height both gets changed. But if I want only the height to be changed, then I will just click here and then increase the size like this. Okay. All this time I was pressing Shift so that the image, the width and height of the image is not disturbed. I don't mind the white bars. I don't mind this. Okay, I just want the whole image to get displayed on the Instagram. That's my main objective, including the top and the bottom, the left and right portion. I don't want any Instagram to cut any portion of the photographer's image. I don't know what by which using what techniques he have clicked on the photo, such a nice photo. So I want the whole photo to get displayed. So this is how you create. Firstly, you insert an image, create a canvas, and then insert an image in Photoshop. First create a canvas. Now if you are using Photoshop, obviously you are going to use it to modify, number one, modify photos, number two, modify photos for something, either to post it on Instagram, either to post it on Facebook, either to print it out. So you have to create the canvas first, because you are going to modify the image for something. That's why I always create the canvas first and then I insert the image. Okay, done. So right now if I post this, if I export this one and then just post it on Instagram, it will come like this. The whole photo is getting displayed, the left and right white things are going to get displayed. Let's just cut this. Okay, so now after inserting the image, what to do? I'm going to let's say cut the image. I'm going to cut. Now again, since the photographer, let's say the photographer does not want this bamboo portion till here, or he or she doesn't want this part, he just wants this part, only this part, let's say only this part, including the bud, let's say only this part. Okay, so how to do that effectively? If you want a very effective method, just click here. Okay, then just select the portion that you want. Okay. And then shortcut method, edit, cut, and then again paste, and then press Ctrl T, press Shift, increase the font, increase the size. Got it? So very easy method to just this one, to just zoom out, take only a portion of this image by using the selection tool. Okay, now I want what do I want? I want to cut only the flower portion. Okay, I just want only the flower portion. Now selection to the marquee tool is a bit bad because of it, because if you see the marquee tool, there is only the rectangular marquee tool, there is the elliptical marquee tool. I can use the elliptical marquee tool, and by the way, deselect the image. Okay, always after selection the selection remains, so deselect the image either by clicking outside the canvas or pressing Ctrl D on the keyboard. Now I want only the flower, so if I choose elliptical marquee tool and then choose it like this, in some cases you might want it like this. Let's say you are setting a profile photo, so you want the elliptical marquee tool, then just cut. Let's say I'm going to Ctrl C and V it. Sorry, elliptical marquee tool, I've selected a marquee tool, edit. Where's the cut portion not coming? Oh yeah, I have not see what is the mistake that I have made. I have not selected the layer. Now cut, paste, Ctrl T, and then you can, sorry, and then you can change the proportions like this. Okay, so you can, but even if you do that, you're not fine-tuning your cutting, you're not fine-tuning the thing. You're just selecting and cutting, which you can also do in Microsoft Paint, but we are not using Microsoft Paint here, we are using Photoshop here. So for things like this, let's say I just want the flower to be cut. First zoom on the portion. Okay, zoom on the portion and then use this tool. Now this is known as the lasso, or LASSO, lasso tool. Now how to use the lasso tool? If you right click on it, see there is the lasso tool, and there is the polygonal lasso tool, and then the magnetic lasso tool. These two things I'm going to tell you later. Just select the lasso tool. Now after you select the lasso tool, the mouse cursor behaves like this. Okay, and then you can just draw a fine thing around the image, the fine like this. Okay, around the image. I'm selecting it like this. Okay, don't mind me, I'm just selecting now this one. Now see how only the flower portion gets selected by using the lasso tool. Now if I want only the flower portion to be on some other this one other canvas, then just I'll edit copy of the thing. I'll just create file new, and then by default the thing that you have cut is now, after you have copied it, it's now on the clipboard. So Photoshop immediately recognizes the size of the cut that you have made and immediately recommends that this is the size of this one, and you can create a document out of this size. So I'll just select this one, I'll just click on create this one, and then I'll click on edit, and I'll click on paste. So see how only the flower comes. Again, this is also not perfect because I have not made the selection properly. I've just selected it. But if you just give a little bit of time, if you just zoom in and then again select it, okay, you can select more, fine tune your selection, and then you can cut the portion of the image that you want. Now if I want only the bud, I can cut the bud using the lasso tool. So this is how you use the lasso tool to freehand cut a image. Okay, now let's say I want another flower, I want another rose petal here. I'll just Control C it, and then again Control V it. It will create another layer here. Okay, now just using the move tool, I'll drag it, and then see another flower here. Okay, so this is how you can use the lasso tool to make your selection, and then you can move your selection, cut, copy, paste your selection, do etc etc. Now remember, in blending options I told you you can use blending options everywhere in Photoshop, in objects, inside a photo. Now let's say the atma of the flower is going out, so I want to emphasize this one. Okay, then I'll just right click on blending options, and then let's say I want to apply a stroke. I can get a stroke. Okay, and I want to give it a glow. Okay. Let's say I want to give it a very red glow. I'll increase the size of the glow and then the opacity of the glow. Okay, so I can do all these things in this object also. So this is why I told you that you can use these options anywhere in Photoshop. You can use it here also, but here since I have cut this image and then made it as a separate layer, so it becomes easier for me to apply these options, apply these blending options here. Okay, so done. Then again, transform tools, press Ctrl T on the keyboard. This will give you the transform tool options. Now I can increase the width and height by clicking here and then here, and then increasing the width and then increasing the height from here. You can even type it out. If you want to increase the angle, you can do it here. Okay, then if you want the position, x-axis or the y-axis, you can change the position. You can change the position from here. Okay, so, and if you want mouse control, then just click here. You can do it like this also. You can do it like this also. And remember this link function, this will constrain the proportion. This means this will maintain the aspect ratio. So if you are changing the width, it will automatically change the height. Got it? So you can use the transform tool. I just forgot where the transform tool was in these menus, but press Ctrl T on the keyboard, and then you will get the transformation options. You even if you place the cursor, let's say here, okay, see how the cursor is changing. So this means you can rotate the image. You can just click here and then you can rotate the image like this, and then you can click here and then you can rotate the image like this. You can do this by using the transform tool. You can transform the image like this. Also, if you right click on the image, see there is free transform, then there is scale. Scale means width and height. Then there is rotate, which you can rotate. Then there is skew. Now how you can skew out the images? See, fixed 1 point and change one point. This is known as skewing the image. Again, right click on it and then distort if you want to distort the image. Okay, so right click, distort. Wait, see, both the width and height of the image you can change it by using the distortion options. Okay, then right click if you want to warp the image, if you want to do all these things to this image. See how you can warp out the image. Okay, so click here, click apply. See how the image is transformed. It's looking funny because I have just used the transformation, but let's say you want to increase the biceps of some man. Okay, then just select that portion and then right click, click on transform, and then use warp, distortion, and you can do all these things. So you can do all these things in transform tools. I hope I'm not missing out any options. Rotation, you can rotate it. Yeah, flipping horizontally and flipping vertically. Okay, horizontal flipping, this means like this, and vertical flipping means like this. Okay, you can even flip vertically. So it's on you. Use these options, practice these options, and you will know how to change, how to modify the image. And after applying the transform tool, just right click or just press enter on the keyboard. Okay, this is much easier. Instead of going here, clicking again, clicking on apply, just click on enter on the keyboard, and this will make you apply the transformation options. See, I have applied glow and how red glow is coming.